Yes, it is time for Hume Football. Last week it was the league bye for the first round of matches all completed, the 12-team competition. 11 games have been completed, and of course that means that we start the second half of the season in effect. To join us and discuss it is none other than Phil Bouffler, who is the Vice President of the league. G'day Phil, how are you?
Well, Wayne, how are you going?
Real good. They reckon that you were out stacking up trees and getting firewood organised and so forth in the week off. I mean, gee, these week offs come at a pretty good time.
That's it. So we've got a bit of, it's got a bit cold. We had a pretty big frost a couple of nights ago. And so anyway, we need to get a bit more wood organised. So I'm sort of getting a bit of timber, and I've had a few trees blow over. So I'm just sort of burning them and have a bit of a tidy up in a couple of paddocks just down along the creek where there was a bit of a storm came through.
Yeah, certainly you've had some hail and everything in the last few weeks. Well, talking about storms, it is going to be a terrific second half of the season. And this is the one this week. It's a massive game of football. Osborne take on Burrum. Now, earlier in the season, the two sides met, and on that occasion, it was down at Brocklesby, and Osborne cleaned them up 2015 to 10-4. But since that time, no one's headed the Tigers. They've just been magnificent, Phil, but they front up against a much improved and very, very informed Burrum Saints.
Yeah, that's right, Wayne. This will be a different kettle of fish this weekend to the side they played in round one with the BB Saints. So I'm expecting a pretty close game. This will be Osborne's biggest test. I think their closest one so far was probably the Lockhart game, and they still won that by 44. So even though Joel, the coach, is still, Osborne coach, is still coaching on the sidelines, he'll be big out. But I think this will be a pretty good game. I'm actually heading over this game.
Yeah, it's going to be massive. I mean, Joel Mackey has got not just a hamstring, they reckon it's a tendon injury that could see him even in doubt for finals action. I don't think that's going to affect Osborne. Just they've got so much depth at that club, and you look at their reserves and then even their two junior sides, they're right up there, aren't they?
That's the secret in country football. You've got to have a good second side. So, if one or two go out, it's probably, with a lot of these sides, it's not their best two, it's their worst two. So, Osborne lose a couple, but they've got a couple of good young kids to go in. So I think young Nick Madden's going back into the side on tomorrow. So, one goes out and a better one comes in sometimes.
They do. Sedgwick's been in great form, and Kipido's been kicking goals for Burrum. Getting their setup right too, and I think Sedgwick's has really changed the balance of that. He's a quality footballer. That on the other side of it, though, Big Armstrong, he's kicking big bags of goals. He leads the league goal kicking at the moment, and you've got Parr, who's also up there kicking goals. So they've got some options, and in the midfield too, this is going to be a big battle.
Be a good battle all around the field, really. Osborne have got a tall forward line, and that's been pretty good to them all year, to be honest about all that. So, I think the BB Saints will man up pretty well on them, and I'm expecting this will be a good game.
Certainly a good game in the middle too. It's going to go right down to the wire. I think Osborne, look, they just seem to have the answers every week that they come out to play, and this time around too, they're at their home deck. They rarely lose in that beautiful paddock. I think for mine, Osborne, who are you tipping?
Yeah, I'll probably go with you, Wayne, I think, just for the home ground advantage and just on form. But I think it'll be pretty close.
Okay, that's the big one. But there's another big one too. The CDHBU, they are the Culcairn boys, the Power. They come up against Lockhart. And at Culcairn, this is a really important game of football. Last time they met at the start of the season, it was a terrific performance on that day by the Power. They shocked the Lockhart boys 11-15, 81 to 5-7, 37. That was at Lockhart, in front of that beautiful big water tower that's got all of the magnificent Australiana scenes on it. But this occasion down at the Power at Culcairn on the open deck down there, gee, this is going to be an absolute beauty. And I tell you, I'm finding it hard to know who to tip.
This will be a turnaround, I reckon. At that first round, I went to that game and I just thought Lockhart, I wasn't sure whether CDHBU were very good or Lockhart weren't very good, but I was right, sort of half right, because CDHBU were good and Lockhart a lot better than I thought they were. So I think Lockhart might get up here. They've got to if they don't win this game, I think their finals campaign's finished pretty much.
Well, I reckon you're right there. I think for both sides, this is the turnaround game, isn't it? It's the old 8-pointer, as they say. Lockhart really are going to need to get on top, and it's at Culcairn's deck. Culcairn know the deck well. A bit of moisture still around the place, so that's also going to be interesting to see if it's a bit slipperier. But ultimately, it's going to be a terrific game. Just think maybe Lockhart just could shade Culcairn. I'm with you on that. I just think they've just got enough in their deck in the midfield that could get enough forward movement to be able to beat Culcairn here. Okay, Holbrook play the Billabong Crows at home. Now, they tell me that the president has made a guest appearance on The Farmer Wants a Wife.
Unbelievable. I'm sitting at home minding my business, and my partner and I don't like watching Farmer Wants a Wife, and I looked up and there was this farmer Andrew. He was in the pub. I'm not sure what pub it was. It must have been over near Holbrook, and I said to Donna, that's David Morton in the background. So obviously he's gone in there as a consultant, giving these farmers some of his wisdom. So well done to David.
I'll tell you what, has he got any wisdom for the Holbrook boys? Because they're going real well at the moment. They really look like the side that could take it up to either Burrum and certainly to Osborne. That is the deal. The Brookers at home should beat the Billabong Crows.
They don't really like it. You just think about this. Like, not only can they get football advice from David, they can get marital advice. So this is, it's a win-win for Holbrook over there. But getting back onto the football, I hope he doesn't hear this. Anyway, getting back onto the football, Holbrook will be too good. It wouldn't matter where this game was played. They're playing too good football. They've got too many good players. Gestia, Lockie Treffound, I think he's playing his 150th this week, which is a great effort. So well done to him. He's a good fellow, Lockie. He does my driving at harvest time. So he's a good bloke.
Oh, good stuff. Billabong Crows, they just got to find some rhythm, and we haven't seen it from them like we did in 2019 when they really made that push and got their first finals appearance ever in the Hume Football. They need a lot more out of their quality players, and Austin's going to have to go hard. I know that they've got really a tough option here. It's a long road trip over there too. I think that they'll struggle away across all four grades. Actually, it's going to be tough for the Crows in this game. Howlong at home take on Rand-Walbundrie-Walla, and the Giants can really firm up their finals appearance. A win here, and I think they can win down against the Spiders.
But I think they're third. They've got a lot to lose if they happen to drop this game, but I think they're just going to be too good. It was a big crunch game against Lockhart. They came good, only won by 5 points, but a win's a win, so they're on a little bit of a roll, so I think they'll continue on their way. Howlong are a good side, but they've just been up and down a lot. They're very hard to read, Howlong, so at home maybe, but I don't think they'll get up.
Okay, Rand-Walbundrie-Walla last time were inaccurate. They won 11-16 to 9-7 over Howlong. So they had their measure. It was 7-14 to 3-3 at three-quarter time. So I just think that Rand-Walbundrie-Walla, on the just score sheets there, they got the goal kicking. This Garricky can play. The Learshke boys are good. They know Cole Hagan that goes well. For Howlong, they're going to rely on Murray to kick some goals for them. I just think that Rand-Walbundrie-Walla are just going to be a fraction too good for Howlong here. The other matches, Henty, I think they should get over the top by plenty, as they might say, over the Murray Magpies down in Albury.
Yeah, I think so, Wayne. I'm saying every week, the Murray Magpies are battling on manfully, and they're having a good go. They're certainly not dropping their bundle, so it's a credit to how the club's going. Winless, but they're still getting out there and competing every week. Henty, I think Henty will be too strong.
Yeah, Henty are going okay. I mean, they're in 6th place. They don't want to drop the game because obviously that they've shored up that 6. It's taken them a lot of work with a lot of local players at 6 and 5 halfway through the season. They're on the better side of the ledger, but Lockhart and even Culcairn could close really quickly on that space. So with CDHBU too, there is a lot of competition for spots right around where Henty are. So they won't drop this match, that is for sure. They'll go out and win it. Last time they played, they were way too good for the Murray Magpies, 17-14 to 5-12. For the Culcairn and Jindera faithful now, the Lions and Jindera, I think, will go down to the wire. Last time they met, this was at, I'm reckoning it might have even been over at Walla because Culcairn couldn't use their home deck. This time around, it's at Jindera. So 11-12-78 to the Lions in round 1. Jindera 11-4-70. But just the last couple of weeks, I just noticed, Phil, that Jindera is starting to get just a bit of form and starting to play a bit better footy. And I just got a feeling that this could be really, really close at Jindera.
I don't think you're right, Wayne. I reckon I've seen Culcairn a couple of times. They're a good side, but once again, a little bit like Henty, they're up and down. They're very hard to read, some of these sides. Jindera have been playing, even though they've been losing a little bit, they've been playing still, pretty good football. But I just think of Jindera. I think Jindera might get up here. They're a pretty good side.
Yeah, Galvin's kicking goals, and I don't know over at Culcairn. I mean, they got some players like Grentel and Welch and Hallinan, but just don't know where they're going to get their score. I suppose if Pryor was playing, but gee, this is a massive game. Galvin's been in good form in recent times and kicking a lot of goals right through the season. So I'm going to go with Jindera here. Just at home, I think they just might be able to answer Culcairn and gives Jindera just a little outside chance of still playing in the finals, Phil.
Oh, yeah, it'll be long odds to get in there for Jindera, I think, Wayne. But, they're a chance. And mathematically, they can still get in there. So, this round and the next couple of rounds are really going to sort this midfield out, I think. So, if you drop a game, you're going to be in a world of trouble.
Absolutely a world of trouble. I tell you what, if you don't get marriage advice from the president at Holbrook, you could be in a world of trouble too. Gee, Phil Bouffler, some of the things that you come up with each week.
It's unbelievable. I don't know where they come from, Wayne. As I said, minding my own business, and up he pops on the television.
Oh, dearie me. Well, I know you got a fair bit of wood chopping to do. It's a big weekend. I know around the league. Is there any restrictions or anything extra in place due to the COVID-19 situation in Sydney? Or is everything generally the same as the current restriction?
Mate, pretty much the same. So, if you're going to the footy this weekend, take your mask, please. A lot of the clubs may not supply them, so you'll have to have a mask to get in and wear them at all times unless you're eating or drinking. Canteens and bars will be operating, so but you'll have to sign in. So just everyone, please sign in. Take your because this will help everything if you do that. So do your QR code, take a mask, and enjoy the footy.
Absolutely, and a lot of the clubs have had functions that have had to be cancelled through this that period of time. A lot of balls and types of events that are happening, so the clubs will give you a rescheduled time, obviously, on that. Phil Bouffler talking Hume Football, a fantastic comp this year. We still don't have really any knowledge of who can make that top six. It's a long way to go yet. A lot of water to go under the bridge, maybe along the Brook-on Creek too, or the Billabong. It is a beautiful season, and we look forward to your comments next week.
Mate, thank you. Could I just say one final thing, Wayne? I was just going to mention that with our constitution, now we've played a full round, no matter what happens now with COVID, we're still able to have a final series. So that's been a big plus for the league.
Phil Bouffler talking Hume Football.